Alright.
So welcome everybody to having fun with Dark Souls 3 Part 2. I have a special guest with me this time around. So introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is April Flowers. Just here, I just know, you know, Gabusuki Yomi here from like Discord. We talk a lot, so he just invited me over, to hang out, stuff like that, all that good stuff.
Yeah, kind of a stream to bounce off each other on, so it's not just a boring stream of me going like, uh, mm, mm.
But yeah, give me.
This is gonna be a different Dark Souls playthrough than what I'm normally used to, since I chose Herald at the start. I'm usually used to like the Knight or the Pyromancer. I just chose Herald because it was something different. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Better get under cover. Out of the way, Hammer. Out of the way. There we go. And the giant shooting the arrows will take those guys out, hopefully. So yeah, how's the fanfiction coming along?
Not too bad. Yeah, in case if anyone's curious, I'm actually just writing my first ever fan fiction. It's Kingdom Hearts related because I just really recently got into the series. I've really liked it. I don't know. It's just like childhood nostalgia. I guess it's like a love, but also just for characters and stuff like that too. And so far, I'm currently working on the what is it now? Like chapter 6. It's if you're curious, it's on my uh, arc Archive of Varro account, the AO3 account under Prince April Flowers. If you ever want, and the story's called Prince of Ashes. So if you're ever curious, just go out and take a look. That would be really appreciated. But yeah, so this is just my one selfish plug for the stream. Average, just
Yeah.
just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. You know,
Yeah.
I think everyone's first fan fiction is something to kind of like go check out. It might be cringy or whatever, but at the same time, like as a person who likes writing, I would never discourage people from stopping. Like everyone's
But
first.
yeah, which is good.
Yeah. Like everyone's first writing on something, like whether it's poetry or like a short story or something, it's always gonna be like you're gonna look back at it later and be like, oh, I could fix that and that. But I mean, for a first time writing something, it's always a good start to have some criticism from other people too, which is something I don't get very often because all my friends are busy. Oh, college ain't that fun? I don't want to go that way. I think I have to go this way.
But yeah, so far it's if you're for anyone's curious, it is kind of like rated more so like explicit for some stuff. So it's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. It's definitely not for young audiences due to certain themes. But I don't know. It's just something more like a. And also, it's somewhat of a tract, I guess, author tract, I guess you could call it. But yeah. I mean, you've been helping me out with it, like as well, like because I mean, you've been helping, sort of being my captive audience, for me just blabbing about my ideas.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's a little NSFW
But
at
thank
some
you for your
points.
patience.
But yeah, I think it's cool. I haven't tried writing a fanfic yet because I don't know what I would write one about. Because I think mine would just be like the kind of stuff you normally do, like, oh, this person goes to this person's world and they become friends and they'd have to fight something together. That's just boring to me.
Yeah, I can understand that kind of form, but it's more. I will say it's more complicated than just that.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me, I was absorbed in thought.
I love this guy.
I am Siegwart of Katarina. To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle.
I just wanted to point out,
Have
actually,
you
I'm having a
ever
hard time
walked
fighting
near
the
a
stream.
white
It's fighting
birch
the
only to
stream
be
itself,
struck
actually,
by
right
a
now. I
great arrow?
don't know why.
Well,
It
if
just
I'm
kind
not
of
mistaken,
looked out.
whoever it is, I'm
So do you
sure
think
I
you
can
could
talk
send
some,
me the
but
link
I
again?
have to find
So I
a way
can
up. This
find it
lift
properly.
only
It's
goes...
really
Well,
weird.
Yeah, I will. I think what I did was I just sent you a link to Twitch itself and not my channel by accident.
Yeah, that would actually be a bit better. So if you could do that, that would be really appreciated, because I'm having a difficult time trying to find the right one. So if that's partly why I'm not really talking about the game that you're playing right now, is
Right.
because I'm having a hard time finding it. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go. Okay, now let's see if... Okay, now I see it. There we go.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, surprisingly quiet about the man in the onion armor, and then I'm like, oh wait. I just went on Twitch, I'm like, yeah, let's grab that URL. I gotta go. They're gonna make switcheroo here, so I need to do that.
So are you looking forward to the new, Elden Ring? You know, the one with George R. R. Martin
Yes.
helping write for the story?
Yes, I desperately want to see more of that game.
Have you actually watched, and you said you didn't watch any of Game of Thrones or read any of the books that the show was based off of, right?
No, I know very little about Game of Thrones.
I would recommend at least watching watching some of it, as well as reading about the lore behind it, because it's very interesting.
Anytime.
Right.
At least I find it to be.
I can see.
Especially anything related to the Targaryens and the main families.
I can see Martin probably implementing some Game of Thrones into Elden Ring. When I first found out that was being made with Martin, I'm just like, really? That's cool. Like, I never thought he would ever take any interest in a video game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he would. He's like completely opposed to it. I mean, he's also done he's done
Don't
some
disappear
very
like that. You have me downright
writing for
worried.
different forms of media. He's done
But thanks to
writing
you,
for
an epiphany has
he
struck
actually
me
did
square
writing
in the
for
head.
television.
Oh, really?
I've unraveled the riddle
Yeah, he
of
actually
this
worked on several things. He
inscrutable
worked on an
lift.
adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. He worked on several episodes of
On
the
some
1980s
days, I begin
Twilight
to
Zone
doubt
version of the
myself.
Twilight Zone, I believe.
I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Yeah, he's done quite
Anyhow.
a lot of stuff.
Do you see that? That humongous beast?
I like that. That's
I'm no coward and I've a steady hand, but that thing makes my skin
Yeah,
crawl.
so he's not he's a
Now,
bit of
now,
a jack of all
Think
trades, I
twice
guess.
before you go down that road.
I always thought coming up with a story or something like that for a game would probably be a little easier than a TV show. Because a game you got like a set amount of time, and it's like, all right, well, we don't have to make a sequel, but in a TV show, it's like,
that's the thing that sometimes I have an issue with his writing, because he sometimes takes too damn long.
Yeah.
It's too late now.
Yeah, because granted, it can
of
be
the Knights of
difficult
Katarina, fight by your side.
with certain kinds of things, but at the same time, he's not getting any younger, and also, let's be honest, he's not exactly the thinnest guy, so, and he's rather on the, larger side, so I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't continue.
Same. I don't know if it's true, but I heard a rumor.
Especially given that we recently lost Miura
Who?
as well, another prolific writer. He was fairly not that old either. Like, not that old guy.
Okay.
So, and it could happen at any moment. Just completely dies, and then the story is never finished.
Right. I heard a rumor.
That's one of the worst things to happen.
I heard a rumor that the reason why he's not finished the Game of Thrones books is because the show, like, he was really angry with the show.
Yeah, because I'll admit, because granted, I'll give the show some leeway given the fact that they were finished way ahead for the books. Like, I mean, past season 5, they were pretty much going to it almost completely without any knowledge of what was going on in the books.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel some
That
things
was quite a
story beats will
performance.
be the same,
But you
but at the
we
same time, I feel this
unkindled
what
must put our
contributed
duties
to
first.
the poor
But,
decision
for the
making
moment,
later on.
we've
Yeah.
a toast
Especially
to
the
make.
portrayal of certain aspects of the season.
Your valor,
Thorn.
my sword,
Yeah.
and our victory together.
Yeah, I feel like
Long may the
Martin's,
sun shine.
if Martin finished the series, then season 8 would be a lot better in people's eyes.
Yeah, though, I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be the case. Like, for example, there are some shows, like the original Full Metal Alchemist anime, that manages to be good despite not fully adhering to the
Yeah.
to the original story at closer to the end. Like, I mean, it follows some of its own stuff too.
Yeah. I remember liking that one a lot as a child.
Yeah, so I guess it's more so to the right.
Get out of here. I remember asking
As
my
a
friend.
whole, I guess.
I asked my friend because he was really into FMA. And I'm like, what's the difference between the original and Brotherhood? And he's like, Brotherhood's just a lot more detailed.
Yeah, and it's closer to the original story. Though I mean, let's be honest. Just because it deviates doesn't mean it's bad. It depends on the quality of writing. That is, I'll give Rat. That is the one thing of it. And D&D, Dumb and Dumber basically were not suited. Like, they even admitted that they didn't really care
Really?
about the show after a certain point. They just wanted to get up to the Red Wedding.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then they said, after that, we don't really care what happens. It's like, and I partly blame it on them not stepping down, and also HBO for not finding someone who actually would have been interested in taking over.
Because it's
After
such
that point.
it's such a good like setting for a show. Like it's got like just the right amount of magic and fantasy. You know? Like I could definitely see something cool being done with it.
Yeah, there's very good reason why, as a fan of, for example, Daenerys, I was not a fan of where her character development went, because basically all the characters was like, oh, all this character development? Yeah, let's just chuck it out the window and just try and make up for it with fan service, despite it not really working.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
Like I think Jon Snow was like theorized to be the one to take the throne. Oh hey, and what's up?
No, actually, I do think that is actually canonically what it's implied. At least in that case, I think it is canonical that he is the child of two specific. He is the child of Rhaegar and Lyanna.
Right.
Because I think that to become the writer of the show, the question was, who is Jon Snow's mom? And given the fact that Benioff and Weiss basically got the job, and that Jon is revealed to be Lyanna and Rhaegar's son.
Right.
That must mean that is how it happens in the story. That is actually his parents.
Right, yeah. That makes sense. Also, my friend's in the chat. How you doing, Ian? I'm gonna...
Oh, hello.
I'm gonna get my ass kicked by guys in cages. Oh, no. I forgot about these two.
Oh, these things. Oh.
No. I can deal with one fat lady Demishku. I can't deal with two. I also don't have any more healing left. I have heal aid.
God, could you imagine, like, did you actually see that remake of RE8?
No.
Somebody actually made a remake of RE8, but it's only set, as far as I can tell, in the Dimitrescu house and like castle.
Mm-hmm.
But it's heavily based off of Castlevania in terms of style. Like, it's very much a Vania style game.
Oh. So
which actually is kind of hilarious, given the fact that both the original Castlevania and both Castlevania and the first segment of RE8 take place in a castle owned by a vampire.
What's a demake? Is that where it's like made in like a pixel style?
Yeah, or it's basically sort of like the idea of how would this work in an older kind of style. Like there's demakes of I think Bloodborne as well. There's a demake of Bloodborne.
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting to see. Oh, wait, I think I saw that. Yeah. Ian sent me a video. My friend, he sent me a video of the Father Gascoigne battle in like a kind of PS1 style.
Exactly, that was the one I was referring to.
Yeah, that looked amazing.
Ah, how?
Oh, by the way, speaking of stuff like related to the Souls series, can we also mention the fact of how a lot of people initially in the Sora reveal for Smash thought we were going to get get a Dark Souls character because of the flaming sword bit.
Yeah, I saw that. A lot of people are like, "Is it Dark Souls?"
Yeah, that was like so many people were so sure. I mean, that wouldn't have been a bad choice, especially given the fact that
Tis good what
I'm
needs.
trying to think. Is it 1 and 2 only that are on the Switch, or is 3 there as well?
I think 1 and 2 are on the Switch. I think 3 is probably coming to it. I don't know. I can't check the Nintendo store because they banned my account because they stole money from me.
Yeah.
But I assume if 2 and 3 are on there, then the third one will be coming soon. I just know that the third one is still like about $60 because I think when it came out they priced it around 70 or 80. I don't know why they did that. It's a good game, but I would not pay $80 or $70 for it. I don't even remember.
That's fair, honestly.
Yeah, I don't even remember how much I paid for it. I got it off Amazon, so it must have been a little cheaper.
Oh, just chilling out. Just sit by the flaming sword.
Yeah. I was gonna infuse a weapon, but none of these weapons are really that good to infuse at the moment. Yeah, I would love for... I heard the rumor of Bloodborne 2 on PS5, and me and my friend, we're so into Bloodborne. We're just like, oh my god, it's coming true.
But that didn't, of course, happen. We have, well, at least we have, Demon Souls, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, just recently there's a report that there might be a Bloodborne 2.
Honestly, there's, sometimes, though, I kind of wonder sometimes sometimes some games need sequels, or they should just be ported.
Right.
Because sometimes there are games where it's like, oh, these do deserve a sequel, and others are like, well, where do you take the story?
Bloodborne is one of those games where it's like, it could do with or without a sequel. You could take it either way. But I think with how long it's been since the game came out, it would probably do best without a sequel. Just because it might not hold true to the original story, the original lore and stuff like that. But I would just love to see a sequel because I love the game. As long as they can stay true to the lore a little bit. Oh, okay.
I think that is always a thing, because when it comes to coming up with a new game or something, especially when you have to try and do something and then you have to try, how do we make this fit into the lore?
Right.
In a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Final Fantasy, the reason a lot of people have asked me who don't really care about the series, they're like, why are there so many? I'm like, because they're not really connected. They have, pieces of lore that you could connect them with, but It's not like
Yeah.
9 is a sequel 8 directly. But
On the topic of sequels that are sort of only very loosely connected to each other, and since we're talking about a software, you're playing a software game right now.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of the Echo Knight trilogy of games?
no, I haven't.
They were actually developed by software before they became big with Bloodborne, sort of like with the Souls games and Bloodborne.
Is this like PS2 era?
It's basically a horror adventure series where you can basically explore different settings. Like the first two games take place in like the 1930s, I think, 1930s, 1940s.
Right.
And the third game takes place in the much distant future on a moon colony, and they're only very loosely connected to each other by certain story elements.
I quite like
And that the main characters happen to share the same name, despite it making no sense whatsoever. Like it's very bizarre.
Right. I remember...
I could almost go out of the way and say it's almost like different timelines, I guess. Like different universes.
I guess that makes sense considering what they would do with Dark Souls later on, but... And
Yeah.
from that alone, I guess you could tell it's the same company.
Unfortunately, it's very difficult to actually get your hands on the games. Like, because if you want a good introduction to them, I'd highly recommend looking up YouTuber NitroRad.
Right.
Because he does very good. He did a series of videos about the series. And he also, in the third one, he does raise up the issue when it comes to game preservation.
Right. That's a big debate. Like, I think it's been around for like 10 years now. It's always going to be a debate as long as companies are either for or against emulation. I think Nintendo loves to flip-flop on being for and against emulation of their games.
Yeah, I mean, if you have your, it's like I would say to the company, look, if you have your issues, try and compete with it. Actually, try and re-release these series because this should show that there is an audience for these kinds of games.
Yeah, like I would love to play a Metroid game, but there's just nowhere to find Metroid, like Super Metroid on. Like, I thought it was going to be on the Switch back when I still had the capability of going on the store. I couldn't find it, and it looks so fun. Yeah, I would love to play it. The only hope I have is either emulating it or waiting for Dread to come out.
Exactly. Like, for example, for one of the series I love is Castlevania. I really wanted to get into a lot of it, and I do have a lot of the games. But an issue I had with it was that so many of them you are hard to get, especially the GBA games, like anything older than GBA.
Right.
Like not even that. Maybe like anything older than the DS. And I actually own two of the DS Castlevanias. I own Dawn of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin. Anyway, so I was ecstatic when I heard that they were actually going to be releasing the GBA games for the Switch.
Right. Yeah, I would, I don't remember which Castlevanias it is, but the ones with Alucard, and it's like that's where the Metroidvania...
Oh, that would be Symphony of the Night, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, and Dawn of Sorrow in extra content.
Yeah, because that's where like the Metroidvania kind of genre really began, was with the Alucard.
Oh yeah, that was Symphony of the Night was the one that pioneered it.
And I would love to try that out. I think I'm a grinder. I love grinding in games. I think my longest file in Dark Souls 3 is like about 300 hours. But I would love to try out the Metroid style of grinding. Man, this guy's just...
Yeah, well, I mean, there actually wasn't really grinding necessarily in Metroid. It was Symphony of the Night that introduced the RPG elements.
Right.
Because it was it was Metroid that introduced the open world, the exploration aspects and unlocking new abilities.
Yeah.
But it was But it was Symphony that introduced all the stuff like you finding new weapons and sort of leveling up and stuff like that. And it actually even included like a bit of fighting games as well, where because if you input certain commands, you can actually have a la carte perform spells that he wouldn't be able to perform any other way.
Right. But
which I think is really cool.
I think what Nintendo and all these other companies could do is if they don't want emulation to like cut into their profit, quote unquote, which really that doesn't make sense. But
it doesn't. How is it cutting into your profits if you're not even reselling it?
Yeah,
like making it available any other way.
But it's like Nintendo kind of had the right idea with the NES and SNES, like the small versions. They kind of had the right idea with that, but they didn't go the way that they should have. Where it's like you make all these emulated games and you make them just like they are on the original console, and you sell them that way if you want to make money.
Could you imagine if they actually allowed you to download the games also onto there? Like you could expand your library?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Like give you like a terabyte
Yeah,
hard
like
drive.
say if you have, for example, just some older copies of your games just lying around. It's like, oh, I don't actually need to have it. I can just find a way to put them in, and I can play them that way.
Yeah. Like you could
sure,
download it on the website.
The same thing as the kind of the emulation style they have, like where you can save states, but it would still allow you to play.
Yeah, like you could download a file from the internet from one of these sites that they support, and then you can just plug it into your machine, and it would take the file from there. Like Nintendo.
Yeah, but sometimes what also sucks is how emulation sometimes is the only way to play like region locked games. Like that's how a lot of people had to play, for example, the 6th Fire Emblem Binding Blade. Like because they didn't release it to the West.
Right.
And which honestly also does a lot to show the flaws with that game, because there's one level in particular that is absolutely evil. Like Chapter 14, where because keep in mind, like Fire Emblem is a strategy RPG. Like you have to, and it's a game that has permanent death, right? Like permadeath. You if you use a character, the character dies, they die for it. They're good unless you restart the level.
Right.
Well, Chapter 14 is a level that has fog effects, like a fog effect. It's in a desert, so unless you have like a magic character or a flying character, their movement is bogged down. There's respawning enemies.
That sounds terrible.
And there also, in that chapter, you get a new character, I believe level 1. A level 1 unpromoted character. And one of and also one of the conditions for winning the chapter is you have to defeat the boss in a certain amount of turns while keeping that new recruit alive.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some Square
And that is
Enix
the only
level.
way. And you know what's even worse? If you don't read those conditions, you're basically locked out completely from the true ending.
Really?
Yeah, and it says something when even with emulations and the ability to save state, people absolutely despise that level, myself included.
I can see why.
And you could only imagine the utter suffering of the poor Japanese players with the original release.
Yeah. I can... That's like Square Enix levels of just evil.
Oh yeah. There's a very good reason they never did anything like that ever again.
That kind of sucks for Japan too, because Japan gets a lot of region exclusives, and it's like a lot of us here in the States or elsewhere are like, man, I'd love to play that game, and then you get your hands on it, it's like, oh well, they probably didn't release this elsewhere for a reason. Probably wasn't that popular, or it was just like really niche.
Well, to be fair, the first 6 Fire Emblems weren't released worldwide because they didn't think they were being appealed for. It wasn't until like the double whammy of Advanced Wars on the GBA and Martha and Roy's inclusion in Melee that really actually gave Intelligent Systems, like the guys who make Fire Emblem,
Yeah.
Gave them the confidence enough to say, well, sure, well, why not? We'll give it a chance. We'll give them a chance in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, the rest is history.
Yeah, I think there's something similar to
and
that.
most of the Fire Emblem games since the 7th have been released to the West. Except the remake of the 3rd game, because that was on the dying days of the DS.
Oh, sad boys.
And they still haven't released it to the West yet.
That's ridiculous.
It's really weird. But to be fair, the remake that came before that, the remake of the very first Fire Emblem, didn't do so well on DS. So it's understandable why they would feel like there wasn't enough of a market for it.
Uh-huh.
But if you ever want to ever experience Fire Emblem, I'd highly recommend looking at some of the games, because most of them are unconnected to each other.
Right.
So you could just hop on into any point of the series, and you would not have to worry about much about the story.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a similar...
I would recommend like the 8th game, because it's a good balance of the permadeath, but it's one of the easier Fire Emblems.
Right.
Because it has level grinding and branching promotions.
I think there was a similar...
Plus, it also has more replay value than most.
I think there's a similar origin story of that, like where like they didn't release it to the States because they didn't think it would be popular. I think there's a similar origin story to that for some of the Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, well, which has led to the absolutely wonky numbering.
Yeah.
Between the regions.
I love watching a Pro Jared video on a new Final Fantasy game where he talks about... Well, now he's not because they numbered it correctly, but he was like talking about the numbering systems, how like 1 is 1, 2 is I think 4, and then 3 is 6, and he's like,
yeah, it is very bizarre.
Yeah, he's like and then came 7.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, what happened?
I think 7. 7 might be an example of one of the most overrated games for a series that I can kind of understand, but I'm not a fan of. I don't really like 7 that much. It's I like the materia system, but other than that, I think everything else is just really lame.
Careful, don't say it too badly, or else you might suck the game.
Oh yeah, I am live.
And then they will kill you for your blasphemy.
I always say the PS1 trilogy had like a trifecta of good things. Like 7 had a good battle system, 8 had good music, and 9 had a good story. I think that's the trifecta of perfectism from the PS1 trilogy. Anything up here? No.
Speaking of Final Fantasy, have you ever heard of Dead Fantasy before?
I think I have, but I never played it.
Yeah, it was. If you've heard of Ruby, it was actually a fan. Dead Fantasy was a fan series done by the original creator of Ruby, Monty O. Before he made it big with Rooster Teeth.
Right.
And it basically is just like one big kind of battle between Final Fantasy characters and dead or alive characters. I mean, there isn't really much of like a narrative there, but honestly, I watch it just for the choreography. It's absolutely amazing.
How do you do?
Right.
I am Anri of Astora.
And it includes all the different manner of Final Fantasy and Dead or Alive characters. It even goes off as far as to include characters from the spin-off series too, like from other connected series too, like Ninja Gaiden and Kingdom Hearts. Like Kairi actually is a character on the Final Fantasy side.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, and she got more action there than she did for the longest time until 3 came out.
Yeah.
And she kicks all kinds of ass.
Now, the next time
Like
you
even
cross paths in a
nominated.
Flames Guide, you'll... Oh yes, he's not very
But yeah, if you want, I
talkative.
can send you a link later to the episodes, because they're all compiled. Unfortunately, because since he's passed away, it's never going to be finished.
Yeah.
But
I actually really like Ruby. I didn't start watching it until way late after like it kind of peaked in its popularity. But I think it's a good show.
Yeah, it's since tanked a lot because of a lot of issues with the writing and also behind-the-scenes stuff.
Yeah. The fandom...
I mean, I liked Ruby a lot, but mostly for the choreography rather than just outright... And also because I like the references to fairy tales and literature.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, the team makeup of Team Ruby is basically a team up of Little Red Riding Hood, Snow White, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and Goldilocks.
Yeah. Also, that dog just teleported like they always do. Yeah, I love the character design of Ruby, and I love the kind of dynamic they're going for.
Yeah, I'll get the outfits do look amazing for the most part.
I always thought the animation style was weird, but then I came to learn, like, that's just kind of another style that they went for. Is that dog gonna piss off? Stupid dog! You're killing me!
Dog, no, don't kill this man. He has so much to live for in this post-apocalyptic, Lovecraftian hellscape.
I'm supposed to sacrifice myself, dog. You're gonna kill me.
Yeah, if you know what's kind of weird in the terms of like you've heard of the Legend of Zelda, how one of the timelines is basically caused by Link dying.
Yeah.
I wonder if I find it kind of imagine if that was the case with like Dark Souls, you know?
I mean, that would make sense.
Like,
especially in
I mean,
3.
any of those things could happen, which also means that technically all those deaths would be canon, even the embarrassing ones.
The one where you shatter your ankle from 6 inches and die.
Yeah.
Technically, in this game specifically also, it makes a lot of sense because all these people who are like, who you're talking to and interacting with are like reborn from the dead because they're supposed to relight the fire. And it's
like the zombie.
Yeah, it's like people who failed in their journey or people who succeeded in their journey who have to come back. And it's like, well, I already died once, I don't want to do it again, so they just defect.
Yeah.
Oof. Speaking of dying, these guys are actually pretty decently hard. Who would have thought that taking a gigantic branch...
I like how blunt the message is.
Yeah.
It's not like game over, it's like, no. It flat out says what you are. You died. There's no coming back.
I wish it was just like, you suck, with like a full stop at both of those words.
What, like Shao Kahn style?
Yeah.
You suck.
Fatality. I think the spear might be best for these guys.
God, yeah, that is very true.
I think this game, there's a lot of things in this game that I don't like the look of, but like specific grabbing moves...
Well, it's the first game. They had a lot of time to...
No, this is the third one.
Oh, right, sorry. Yeah.
No, I mean just like grab animations, like the thought of being grabbed by some of these monsters and having that thing happen to me in real life, like that's unsettling.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it would be,
Not happening.
Yeah, there would be.
There's an enemy in Bloodborne in the city of Yargul where they grab you and then they use their little hooks to get your eyes out, and they drop pebbles after you kill them. And, like, if you look in the item description, those pebbles are supposed to be dried out eyes.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Crows also drop pebbles in that game, and it's supposed to be like the same effect, like they poke out eyes and stuff. I love Bloodborne a lot, but I don't know if I like it more than this game, or if I like Bloodborne a little less. Because I honestly think both have their really strong suits.
Yeah. But can we also appreciate the fact that basically this kind of style of like narrative probably wouldn't happen if it weren't for some ultra xenophobe who basically hated sex.
Really?
Yeah, like I mean, let's be honest. This is basically takes heavy inspiration from Lovecraft.
Oh. I never thought of it that way, but I guess that does make sense. Ow.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know everything about like Lovecraft though, right? Like the.
I know a little bit about his personal life, but I don't know a lot about his stories.
Well, basically, it involves a lot of fear of the unknown and also like cosmic horror. This is basically it, kind of like the style of it. You know, like fear of what you don't understand.
Yeah.
And because let's be honest, most of the creatures here aren't your traditional monsters.
Yeah, and everyone you meet out in the field is always just a dick to you, no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of meeting people, I'm about to fight a guy now. I'm not fighting two of them. One of them's a great club and another one's a great sword. I'm not about to tussle with that. It doesn't Cthulhu, like the idea of Cthulhu, come from Lovecraft, or is it just more the modern?
Cthulhu and all, but lots of Lovecraftian entities. Like he's there's a very good reason he basically it's named after him, since he basically was the father of. He's basically the father of cosmic horror.
Right.
Like.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you look at a lot of stuff, like, for example, you know that one person who's a big fan of his work is Guillermo del Toro. Like, del Toro was a big fan of Lovecraft.
What's he worked on?
He worked on the original Hellboy movies, Shape of Water, Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh. So he's a pretty relatively big name.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm surprised you never heard of him before.
I've never heard him by name, but, yeah, I've never heard of his name and his accomplishments, but I know of Hellboy.
Yeah.
I kind of want to fight these guys, but at the same time, I really don't. Yeah, I need to read some Lovecraft. It's like how, with Edgar Allan Poe, how he kind of, like, popularized a gothic, like, kind of home style.
Interestingly enough, Poe, Lovecraft was actually a big fan of Poe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you could say he was a bit of an inspiration. And Poe is kind of like a precursor of sorts to... oh, bye, dude. But, yeah, he was like a very much a inspiration for Lovecraft in a lot of ways. And if you look at a lot of his stories, Edgar Allan Poe, it does have a kind of a similar vibe. If not to the same kind of extent, or in the same kind of way.
Right. I remember.
Like, if you want a good idea of form of Poe's writing, I highly recommend stuff like The Telltale Heart and The Fall of the House of Escher.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
and also the Mask of the Red Death. Those are the three I would recommend, just to get an introduction to Poe's style.
I had one of his books called like The Swinging Pendulum or something from the library at elementary.
Oh yeah, that one, the Pit and the Pendulum.
Yeah. I remember
me as a wee 9-year-old reading all this really messed up shit. Fun times.
I'm not getting baseballed like in Smash. But yeah,
Can you lure that big boy to the pit?
I probably can.
The drop?
I want to try and face him legitimately, but I'm also doing like 2 damage because of his armor.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, he's going to the pit. He can heal. I have cereal. Follow me.
Also, I was just thinking it would be appropriate, though, if you actually were playing this, putting on Berserk music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because let's be honest, like this series takes a lot of inspiration. Berserk's actually another series, I guess you could take that. It takes inspiration from Lovecraft as well, in a lot of ways.
Speaking of Berserk,
Like in
there's
terms of the
actually...
cosmic horror of it. And if you want another manga writer that actually does take inspiration as well, Junji Ito takes a lot of inspiration from Lovecraft. Like, yeah, you've heard of him, right? Junji Ito?
I don't think I have.
Oh, he's written a lot of stuff. He does a lot of, like, horror manga. Like, some of his works include, Uzumaki, Uzumaki, Tomio, stuff like, Tomio, Planet Remia.
Oh. Yeah. I've never actually read a
stuff
horror
like that.
manga. I kind of want to read a horror manga. I need to read more horror stories in general.
Yeah.
Horror manga is an interesting genre.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm poisoned.
Like, if you want a good... let me see if I can find examples of Junji Ito's art. Like, you probably have at least seen it in passing.
I probably have. Alright. Bonfire, help me. I don't think you can roll through poison damage in this game like you can in Bloodborne. So I need to take this place a lot more carefully. Speaking of Berserk, though, there's a great sword here, and unlike Dark Souls 1, this great sword's a lot thicker, and it looks exactly like the Berserk sword.
Yeah.
Ooh, Iron Flesh. I hate this place so much. It's like this is the one area I dread about going through again whenever I start a new game. I hate wading through swamp. Also, I don't know if it shows it, but at the bottom of the of this thing there, it says, "I'll lead you into everlasting darkness," and I figured out how to change that one time on before a stream, and I'm like, man, I love that line that Ansem says in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Hollow Bastion. I love that fight. I love that line. I'm like, I might as well just put that as a thing.
Yeah. Back in the days before we knew how absolutely crazy the series would get.
Yeah. Back when they still had a Keyblade that could only unlock people's hearts instead of all Keyblades doing that.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea, though, of a specific Keyblade being able to do that, whereas other Keyblades wouldn't be able to do that sort of thing. Get away, get away. That is my...
But yeah, I think it would be kind of, like, interesting to see where things will go from here. Because, obviously, like, Danger will not be a main villain.
I think...
Unless they somehow bring him back in, like, the weirdest, convoluted way imaginable.
Who? Ansem or Xehanort?
Xehanort. Xehanort I'm talking about.
I could see them bringing him back, but, like, not like as a live character, but kind of like an apparition in the final world or something.
Kind of like how how it is with MOM.
Yeah.
Like Melody of Memory.
Yeah. I think, like, in the final world or something, if Sora ever ends up there again, he could see, like, Xehanort's heart, and it would manifest into, like, a form.
Also, that's also technically the player's heart, too.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
The player's like, Sora, I know you. I played this game. Sora's like, why don't you start making sense?
I am you. I'm imagining that quote from Persona, like the Persona series. I am thou and thou art I.
I never played that series, but I really need to.
Yeah, I'd recommend, like, well, one good thing about Persona is that you don't necessarily need to have knowledge about the other games.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to just jump in at certain points. They're not connected for the most part. I think only the first two Persona games, first three Persona games have characters from that appear in other entries that are playable characters.
Is it kind of like a dungeon crawling game?
Yeah, it very much is.
Yeah.
Dungeon crawling, a lot of it. But there's also moments where they're like locations you go to for boss fights. And honestly, some of the music of the series is absolutely amazing.
I have a theme on PS4.
My favorite, honestly, for me personally, is the main theme, like the poem of everyone's soul, and its numerous variants.
I'll get that out of these guys again. Then we're gonna die again, but that's fine. Yeah, I have two themes on PS4. It's like Dancing in Moonlight and Dancing in Starlight. And I think they're Persona 4 and 5 related.
Mm-hmm.
These guys need to get off my back.
But yeah, imagine if, like, I definitely would be interested in an HD remake of the third game. That would be cool. Oh, the first 4 games, because the numbering of Persona is very weird. Because there's 6 main entries in the series. There's Persona 1, Persona 2 Innocent Sin, Persona 2 the Eternal Punishment, Persona 3, Persona 4, and then Persona 5.
So there's like 2 paths.
Because Persona 2 is the only one that with 2 entries, but they actually take place because Innocent Sin takes place before Eternal Punishment.
It's like 2 chapters in the same story or something?
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Huh.
Which is very weird because they only released the original Eternal Punishment into the West, but never Innocent Sin. But
Right.
then when they did the remakes of the games, it was the exact opposite, where they released the remake of Innocent Sin to the West, but then didn't release the remake of Eternal Punishment.
Uh-huh.
Which is very unusual. So when the West originally had to play it out of order, and they never released the remake of Eternal Punishment to the West. Ever. Like, you'd have to emulate it.
I get my ass kicked in this swamp. I'm a big fan of the Disgaea series, and a lot of those games, like I think 2 and 3 specifically, aren't on PS4 in a complete series or in a complete package, and I want them so much because they're decent games, but they don't come out. They have that PS Now or something like that, whatever that's called. They're on there, but you would have to pay for 2 subscriptions to be able to get all the games. I need to just find the flames and get the hell out of here. I already lost like 9,000 souls for good, so.
But yeah, I was just curious, would you ever want any game recommendations? Just turn to me. I could recommend a few things, potentially.
Yeah, my game recommendations are mostly from the PS2 era because that's the most experience I have.
But yeah, if I were to recommend any game to you to give it a shot, I would recommend Because see, there's sometimes I would recommend, say, I would recommend. Have you played any of the Assassin's Creeds?
Yeah, I played 1 through 4.
Yeah, because those are really good.
I played Unity with my friend because we both knew how bad it was, like how unstable it was, but the multiplayer was just so fun.
Yeah.
But I
But
love.
you know, I also never thought of all things that the Notre Dame Cathedral burning down would give the game new life.
Really?
Yeah, because you know how like Notre Dame burned down
Yeah.
a few years ago. Well, they're actually using the model of it in Unity to help remake it because it's authentic because it's to help with the rebuilding
Huh.
because it's actually very accurate to the original building.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was reading. I'm like, really? That's actually really cool.
That's a
So I
rare
guess that
case.
kind of makes up for the game not being the best.
Yeah.
So here's my main chagrin with the game is the voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
Why do none of them have French accents?
I imagine.
That always baffled me.
I imagine it'd be like.
Because when they did,
Go on.
like, and it's made it even more glaring because it came out around the same time as Assassin's. It came out at the same time, around the same time frame as Assassin's Creed Rogue, where the French characters do have accents. A lot of the characters do have voice acting, except the ones that appear in Unity, because Rogue takes place just exactly before at least the epilogue of Rogue takes place before the events of Unity.
Oh. I didn't actually know about
Because
that.
the main character of Assassin's Creed Rogue is the one that killed Arno Dorian's father.
Oh. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes no sense because the French, most all of the French characters in Rogue had French accents.
Right.
It annoys me like so badly.
My favorite game in the entire Assassin's Creed series to this point might still be the 4th one because I love pirates. I love.
Oh yeah,
world.
can we agree that like best pirate is Edward Kenway?
Yeah. 100%.
Best pirate, best assassin, none of the best assassins.
Yeah. I love, like 4 seems where they dropped in quality a little bit because
But I actually did. Well, as soon as I heard that it was coming out on Switch, like the Assassin's Creed games were coming on Switch, I was immediately just like, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
Like you cannot stop me.
Yeah, I have mine on Switch too. I got it digitally.
Yeah, just to take it on the go was just amazing.
Yeah, because I think it's 4 in Rogue.
Now, if only they could do it sort of like you can also buy a physical version of the ports for Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah. And if only Square could do the same thing for the Kingdom Hearts ports.
That's one thing I'll say, like, digital may be more convenient, but physical is always, like, my choice.
Yeah. Still, honestly, still salty with it.
Because, you know,
Not to, like, the degree that I'll threaten the lives of everybody associated with it, but still, it does annoy me.
that, you know, like, you know, on the off chance that some company bans your account, you know, and all your digital games are unable to be played, including
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah. It'll never happen. It's a rare chance. But, you know, the physical is always going to be better. I've actually never had my PSN account banned before, which I feel proud of, because honestly, it probably should be after a couple of games where I'm just, like, playing better than everyone else and shit-talking.
Yeah.
At least it's not like Call of Duty, though, where I go around shit talking people without even being good at the game.
Speaking of the Switch, did you pre-order Shin Megami Tensei 5?
No.
I hope it looks out because I looking at the roster. You know, they're actually to hype up the release of 5. They're actually doing a little like mini presentations each day, where they actually are up to the release of 5, where they actually introduce the various demons you'll meet in the game, both returning and new.
I didn't know about that.
And they basically do a bit about their real mythological backgrounds. And it's like all the different, like from all over, from like the alignments and all the different cultures. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea about Shin Megami Tensei 5. I didn't even know about the other ones.
Well, good thing about Shin Megami Tensei is that you don't need to play the other ones to have an understanding. Like
Right.
the only 2 games that are actually directly connected in any way are the Shin Megami Tensei 4 quality.
Right.
Their others are only very loosely connected,
That's good.
if at all.
That's my favorite thing about game sequels is that they could be either loosely connected or completely connected. Like
Yeah.
my favorite example of this is Xenoblade. So I love the first game. It's a masterpiece, and if you can ever get your hands on the definitive edition, I would recommend it. But the second game, at first, like it seems like it's not connected, but it is 100% connected. But it can still play as if it isn't.
Yeah. Although, honestly, one thing I'll admit, one of my favorite things about Shin Megami Tensei is the music. If you've ever listened to the soundtrack of especially games like Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne or Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, you would understand. Because they each have their but personally my favorite is the Strange Journey. Because for being the most sci-fi of all the games, it is the only game that actually has purely orchestral soundtrack.
I might have heard it in passing. There's a
Yeah, like my favorite parts of the themes are Great Sign. And like here, I'll even send you the typical the standard. Like here, I'll send you one of the pieces of music, and you can give it a listen to.
okay. I don't have any wolf blood grass. Yeah, there's a channel that I watch on YouTube. He's a rant channel, and he hasn't uploaded in a while, but he puts a lot of game music.
Oh yeah, here's the theme. Like the fear of God. If you listen to it, and do you think you'd be able to stream it to everybody else so they can hear it?
I might be able to.
But yeah, you can give it a listen. And yeah, so it's a boss theme from, I guess, the game. Yeah, it's like basically, yeah, it's like where it's like very early on too.
I'll turn on my phone's. Oh, that's good.
Actually, I lied. That's actually the standard enemy.
Ooh.
What you hear with every single normal enemy in the game. Not even boss. I lied.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really epic.
Trying to play too much just in case it's like copyrighted or something.
You shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Probably not. But yeah, I think a lot of video games are probably defined a lot by their tracks. There's a lot of games where it's like, it'd probably be really shit if the music wasn't so good, and I think Final Fantasy VIII is a perfect example of that.
Yeah. If you also want another example of a good soundtrack, the Nier soundtrack, the franchise is amazing
Oh,
music.
yeah.
Like, props to Keiichi Okabe and Emiko Evans
I
for
love...
the instrumentals and the lyrics respectively.
I love them. I kind of want to learn the Chaos language that they speak, but at the same time, it's like a mix of a lot of other languages, so it's not going to go very well for
Yeah,
me.
because and each of them is different. Well, it depends on the tone of the song too. Because songs like Heine's theme are based on Gallic, like Gallic languages, like the Gallic language, whereas like stuff like Grandma are more French inspired.
Is it Gallic or Gaelic?
And the Song of the Ancients is very much based on Japanese.
Is it Gallic or Gaelic?
And heck, even the original Nier had 4 different versions of the ending theme. Ashes of Dreams were based on different languages. They had Ashes of Dreams New, which was in English, Ashes of Dreams Nouveau, which is French inspired, Ashes of Dreams Nuadach, which is based on Gallic, and Ashes of Dreams Arataru, which is based on Japanese.
Yeah. So is it?
And I even played one of the other songs from the Nier Automata, Vague Hope, and to my dad, and I asked him what language that resembled him most, and he said it sounds like Hebrew, like a lot of. So it goes to show like the varied list of languages.
So is it Gallic or Gaelic? Because I've heard it pronounced both.
It depends on where you are, because I think in Scotland it's Gaelic, and then in Ireland it's Gaelic. Because the reason being is because Scottish Gaelic is based off of Irish Gaelic, because a lot of modern Scots, especially around the Highlands, are descendants of the Celtic peoples from Ireland.
Right.
Whereas towards to the lowlands, they're more descendants of Anglo-Saxons.
Okay. Speaking of Celtics. Speaking of Celtics.
Yeah.
Like the pronunciation, first off, I always thought it was Celtic because I don't know, it sounded more cool to me, and I thought that was how it was.
Well, it's more Celtic. It's Celtic is how you say it. It's hard C.
Yeah, and a lot of fairy tale music, like the anime, the fairy tale anime, a lot of that music is Celtic rock, and it sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, I mean, which makes sense because that is a lot of fairy creatures come from. A lot like the idea of the fairy as a whole. The concept is from Celtic mythology.
Yeah, I love fairy tale.
So it just makes sense.
Fairy tale's so good. I'm so sad that it ended, but at the same time, it had to. Someone in the comments section of one of the fairy tale songs asked, what genre is this? I'm like, well, considering most of fairy tales Celtic rock, it's probably Celtic rock. I'm gonna get probably wrecked here. I can find out where those arrows are coming from. But
yeah, I would recommend, like, if you also one thing, it's if you look in your spare time, look up some of the Nier soundtrack. It definitely is worth a listen. It actually won. Both Nier games actually won top soundtrack in there when they in the 2011 and 2018 Game Awards respectively.
Right. I love the Bipolar Nightmare soundtrack.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
And I think one of my favorite areas in the entire game of Nier Automata, specifically, is the amusement park. I love the soundtrack for that.
Oh yeah, it's like the. But also, I like how the fact is like how you basically with Nier, it's like how you're basically witnessing it coming from the eyes of a group of from parties that aren't familiar with human culture.
Yeah.
Like, you mean the androids fight for humanity, but they don't really have a general understanding.
Yeah.
Despite being pretty human in terms of their
Yeah, I think
emotions and attitudes.
I think there's a lot of jokes where 9S is like talking like about what humans did, and 2B is like it's not important. Like
Yeah, stop it. Just
yeah, like it kind of is 2B. That's kind of what you're there to save.
I did remember reading a Kingdom Hearts crossover with Nier, and they just show like 9S just asking Sora so many questions because he's the first human he's ever met, and he asks him all these kind of questions that obviously he just kind of overwhelms Sora with his questions. It's just being like he's just being generally a wholesome boy.
Yeah.
Such a shame what happens to him now. Though I'll have to admit, Kyle McCarley gives an amazing performance as 9S.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end where he just has his complete and utter mental breakdown.
He's
funnily enough, 2017 was pretty much the year of Kyle McCarley, because he also was in another prominent, another video game at the time, because he did the role of Alm in the remake of Fire Emblem 2.
Oh.
Fire Emblem Gaiden.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and he also actually did another prominent Fire Emblem character, the Gatekeeper from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Huh. Yeah, I know very little about Fire Emblem besides what characters are in Smash. But Ike is probably my favorite.
The Gatekeeper is like very weird because he's an NPC character that you never get to play as. He just kind of guards the gate of Garrick Mach, like the place where the game kind of generally takes place.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is like he's not literally doesn't have like he's just kind of just a cheerful kind of just happy guy. Like, and he was so popular that in the 2020 Choose Your Legends banner for the mobile game Fire Emblem Heroes, he actually was voted the most popular male character. Above other characters like Marth and Chrom. Yeah, and people were so were baffled and also salty about how we actually managed to get the top place.
That's insane. I love that.
Which is also kind of funny because a couple years back, all the other Kyle McCarley's other Fire Emblem character, Calm, actually got first place in the third Choose Your Legends. So I guess it kind of worked out.
Yeah, I have no experience in Fire Emblem. All I know is the meme from Smash where it's like, oh, another copy sword fighter.
You should play the game sometime. They're honestly pretty good.
What systems do they usually come on? The DS?
Okay, so Fire Emblem Three Houses is on Switch. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and Fire is on the DS.
Right.
The Fire Emblem 7 and 8 are on GBA, but you can emulate them.
Right.
Fire Emblem 9 was on the GameCube. Fire Emblem 10 was on the Wii, and Fire Emblem Awakening, Fates, and Echoes were on the 3DS.
Can't get caught in that smoke. That's cursed powder. There's a lot of Fire Emblem games. Probably doesn't rival Final Fantasy in terms of amount of games, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah, but I mean, the one thing I'll admit about Fire Emblem is that it's kind of weird because some of the games are connected to each other, others aren't. Like, in fact, games like Fire Emblem Sacred Stones and Fire Emblem Three Houses are completely their own entries. Like they're completely their own thing. Like they're not connected to any other game in the franchise.
Right.
Whereas other games like the Marth games are connected, consist of like the first
duties we each
5
bear,
games.
But one's duty is a solitary affair. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization.
And then the
Crossing
other
of the
games that are
moon
connected
upon
to
your
Ike and
journey.
Roy only consist of 2 games.
Interesting.
I doubt we've much blessing of the moon upon your journey.
But even then, with the Marth timeline, because one of the games, Gaiden, is a side story that isn't really connected at all. And then the other 2 games, Fire Emblem 4 and 5, are take place thousands of years before Marth's time. And with Awakening, it's the only one out of the games that have featured a different main set of characters that are actually in some way connected. But even then, it takes place 2,000 years after the events of the third game.
It must come from what wouldst thou not?
So you don't necessarily need to have like a comprehensive knowledge of the series. Like, I was able to play Awakening without any prior knowledge, and I was fine.
Right. I had a theory with my friend, because I got him into Final Fantasy 15, and he really likes 10 a lot, and he and I both like 10 a lot too, and we came up with a theory that, like, Final Fantasies 15 and 10 are actually in the same world, but like in completely different time periods. And I don't remember a lot of the stuff, but I just remember, like, Insomnia and Xanarkand are kind of like one in the same city, or something like that. And I'm like, the only thing, I couldn't remember everything, but the one thing I remember is the only thing that breaks that theory is the continents aren't, like, they're split, they're not lined up. So, unless, like, some sort of continental drift happens 1,000 or 2,000 years later, then Eos is Eos and Spira is Spira. I like coming up with theories like that, because you never know when you could be right or wrong.
Yeah.
I'm about to fight a boss. About to fight my favorite boss, actually, but I'm not sure if I'm able to do it yet. I might be a little too weak. Well, I only have 700 souls. I think my favorite Final Fantasy game is probably just 9, but I think 10 gets a lot of flack for being annoying, quote-unquote, because of Tidus. But I don't think he's really that annoying.
Yes. I know that scene you're referring to.
Yeah. Like, people are like, oh, it's so cringy or awkward. I'm like, it's supposed to be. Like, you learn why that scene's so awkward later in the game. A little ridiculous. Okay. Well,
anyway, I think I'll be having to head out soon.
Alright. Whether I lose...
Thanks for letting me join.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll be happy to do it any Sunday, you know? Just let me know when you're ready to do the next stream.
Alright.
Talk to you later, man.
Talk to
Peace.
you later. Alright. Much like the Abyss Walkers themselves, there were multiple, and now there is one. And that is who we're fighting. But I have to Ember, 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 I have to Ember. Come on. Fucking drank my Ashen. That was like the fastest I've ever died to the Abyss Watchers, because these little, like, tentacle head guys are all like, ah, you're mine, buddy. Whatever. Ember up right here then. Alright. This is not gonna be easy. This is my favorite boss fight in the entire game. But it's not gonna be easy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for those guys to walk up, because they will actually take out quite a few of those. Not those guys. 2 of them, so the fact that the odds of one dying is actually really low. Alright, they're going in. Hey. He's not coming after me, is he? Thank God. These guys are tough. I don't want to get in the way of one. I could take them out, but it's just I kind of want to save my strength for the Abyss Watchers. Jeez. Alright. I'm gonna have to run past. That guy's just kind of wandering. Alright. Here's how we're gonna do this. No, 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 no. Come on, come at me. I love this song. There's 2. There's 2. Fuck. Yep. Let's get them to fight each other. Aye, he almost killed me. Come at me, bro. I'm not scared of you, you're an Abyss Watcher. This is the bullet battle. I love this fight. Abyss Watchers, they are Watchers of the Abyss, and they kind of follow the same lore as Astora, so they kind of like are Abyss creatures. They're supposed to watch it, but they didn't do very well. I think the Abyss kind of stopped them up. That's fucked. My spleen needs slash. Yeah, these guys are pretty hard. This phase of the fight specifically is hard. So yeah, summoning when you're alone and you don't have a lot of attack power, that would be a good thing to do there. I don't know exactly who you can summon. I know there's a couple people you can summon, but who exactly it is, I'm unsure. But that second phase is like, that's where the difficulty pikes up. The first phase ain't so bad. Technically you got helpers. But it's the second phase where it's like you gotta buckle down. Actually, does this armor even provide good fire defense? Yeah, it does. I think it actually provides the best fire defense out of everything I have. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's tied with the antiquated set. But I'm not going to wear pretty little princess armor because that's also going to need a lot of physical defense. Now, I think Abyss Watchers, in both phases, I think they utilize slash damage. So, find slash, there it is. So, if I can guard mostly against slash damage and fire damage, then I'll be good. Okay, that is the Nameless Knight stuff. I'll be taking a bit from fire, but I think slash is like the most. And I'm outie. I'm outie 5,000. Yeah. That guy. That's a Black Knight. We're gonna kill him. We're not gonna drop down yet because otherwise he'll see. Oh, he's a tough customer. Oh yeah, that's my chiseled jawline with my armament hockey face. Cell sword. I forgot I made my character look like that. Okay, that. Lucerne does a lot of damage. Does about 4 more damage than this sword, but at the same time, it's not like really great. Yeah, see, you gotta be careful with this guy. I don't think I could parry that. God, I wish I could one-hand that move. Technically, I can, but not the proficiency he can. Come on. Such a good way to kill him. Dropped nothing? Damn, I was hoping for at least a piece of his armor, like a shield or something. Fair and coal. We can give that to a blacksmith. So I think I kind of want to make it an objective to kill the Abyss Watchers before I end the stream. Because they're not that hard. They're my favorite fight. It's just I need to get used to them. Okay. Look, buddy. Okay, I'm not the one who crucified you. That looks creepy. That scream sounds like a redneck on the back of a pickup truck going down the highway going, wow! Okay, there's another one. He's trying to fight me. I don't know why you're crucified. You're a fighter. Say no to drugs. I wish you could utilize jump attacks more in boss fights, but a lot of them you jump attack and then you just get killed. Or you get knocked back or something. Yeah, that crab has a problem with me. I took $5 from him one time and he's not over it. Get over it. Alright. So this guy's like a crystal. Like those smaller crystal guys I killed earlier on that high bridge, this guy is like a bigger version of that. Oh yeah, and he has sonic powers. He ate the Sonic no me. Come on. Watch out for that sucker. Try me, buddy. My name is Try McHard. He gives Titanite scales, which are useful for more like enchanted weapon reinforcing. I mean, so enchanted weapons can't really be reinforced with regular Titanite, so you use scales and stuff like that. I think you use Twinkling Titanite for enchanted scales for dragon. Speaking of pyromancer that we got earlier, Undead Settlement. There is a pyromancer here we can save, and we can get pyromancer. My intelligence is low, so it's not going to be helpful, but I still kind of want to save him because I might be able to turn that around. Since the Herald is a kind of a jack of all trades, a little bit less than deprived, but a little bit more than some cleric is. Doesn't change the fact that I'm getting my ass kicked a lot. Go now, buddy. There's a midget somewhere around here. I knew it. I also need to go back to the high wall of Lothric to save somebody. So I guess we can do kind of a run on that. Bye. Bye. Almost forgot to renew my pie coin. So there's the pyromancer around here. He's gonna be up in this upcoming area. There's also a bonfire you can get here. There's gonna be a couple items on the way to that. Funberg? No. No guy up there. No, Dick, over here. Really? Okay, well we gotta get up there. Remember how. Let's see. Don't do that, buddy. I think we gotta drop down here. I'm not home. Not home. There's bonfire. Please light it. Please sit at it. Okay. I don't think there's anything in this room. It doesn't look like it anyways. And this is how we get up here. So we gotta go down to go up. It's like economics, except this one's a lot faster. I'm not gonna be able to stream for the next couple days, so we'll make this one kind of long.
Aha! Unkindled, are we?
No.
Welcome to my abode. I am Cornix, an old pyromancer, a crow in his cage, as you see now. But here we are, an encounter for the ages. I care to learn some pyromancies from this old man.
Yes.
To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Your patronage is much appreciated. It's a Final Fantasy X joke. I don't know why I'm making that now. Yeah, I don't really think there's anything else here. Well, there is, but it's not in this exact area. Hey, buddy. Tell someone to calm down when you're swinging a flamboy in your face. These guys are trying to like shoot me and stuff. These guys suck. I hate them. Like, they're not even that hard, but it's annoying. Nope. Is there something else? Yeah, there is. There's always something else. Okay. God, die. Thanks. Plank shield. It's like Bloodborne. It sucks. Fire bombs. And that's that for that part, because there's still more we can do for backtracking. Rolling into people and make them stagger. Okay. Honestly, not a whole lot in this direction. They're gonna drop down us from above. That attack wasn't too far. They must die. I'm gonna equip my spear. It's not open. I chopped every single body except for the one I wanted. Drop down here. You can get some Estus soup and Warrior Sunlight, which is a covenant. Very good covenant too. Large soul desert corpse. I don't know, I might just stick with spears for a while. But I gotta get a better spear before I can do that. Halberds are fine, but they're not spears. I could use the lucerne just for the extra damage. Buddy. Oh, pretty good. Piss off. That's that fatty over there. You can see her. Cassie. There's not really much in these buildings. I'd rather be in an enclosed space than risk bleeding. There's the whip. It's actually a unique weapon, that whip. Can't really get the sneak attack on her.
Cleanse the bastard's curse.
Oh, I didn't know they actually said something. Sounds joyous, though. Got that back somehow. Bullshit. Piss off. And you drop nothing. I'm out of Estus now, so it's not good. But something up here. Tight night, always good, always good. I vaguely remember. I guess not. This just leads back to this way. Go up here. Oh, yes. There's actually nothing else up here. It's just that. And I fucking missed it. Yeah. So. I might not fight the Abyss Watchers all the way. It really just depends on how strong I am. Because, you know, the Abyss Watchers are alright in terms of difficulty, but at the same time, they're also kind of a pain in the ass. So, there's someone here to rescue. I'm trying to figure out if I remember the path to get to them. remember. How did you think that was now we rush him. That's how you interrupt him. I love the swing attack. Man, how I clipped his kneecap. Pretty sure you could not just shove a lucerne through someone's chest like that, but I mean, I may be wrong. Fire down here doesn't turn you, the fire up there does. What? Oh man. Hello to just, well, enter the stream. How are you doing? Good. I cannot believe I parried him 2 times in a row. I suck at parrying. What are you gonna get? Ah, nothing. Cheapskate. I would love to have one of their shields or swords or something. I'm trying to find a person around here who you rescue from the cell. Can't remember, it's been a long time. Oh yeah. Hello. Man. God damn, why do I suck so much today? It's the fucking streamer's curse. It's like there's a Let's Play curse and the streamer's curse. You can be as good as you want at a game, but as soon as you start broadcasting that you playing it, you just suck worse than any 5-year-old could. Thankfully, it makes a bonfire. I require vengeance too, so I'm not even gonna have the lucerne equipped for the rest of this run. I seek vengeance and require it. Alright, load faster, come on. I'm on a next-gen console. How come it isn't loading like in a couple seconds? Oh. Down here. Hope you're ready. Alright. Yeah, there's you. easy to backstab. So I think it's this way to get to that guy's cell. Where's... Alright, I gotta kill this guy up here. I don't feel like dealing with that. I have the fire bombs necessary, but I just don't feel like dealing with it. Wait, so if I go this way, I go down basically to there. Go that way, I go down to there anyways. So I think this might not be the right path. Just double check. It's been so long since I played the High Wall of Lothric. It's been so long since I played this game. I think I platinumed it, and then I kind of just stopped playing after a while, like, at least in a legitimate sense. I would always come on and just fiddle around, grind some levels or something, but I would never be legitimate about it. Oh, okay, I never just sat down and played the game for more than 3 hours in a single sitting after that. Oh, sick. I don't know what to use the raw gem on though. Alright, get back. Pick up this. I think I'd be weary of this guy. Doesn't really make any sound, so to a newcomer, he might just yank you. Yeah, this is where it is.
Ah. You're no jailer, are you?
No.
No, you're from far away. And judging by the bell, you must be some of that unkindled ash. Remarkable. If that's true, then I have a favor to ask. Below the high wall is a musty little town, not the home of any lord, just a very old settlement of undead. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Yeah. But I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay you in kind. I may be a petty thief, but I've more wits than most royalty.
I think we all.
What do you say then? Huh? Very well. I humbly place my faith in you. I am Grey Rat of the undead settlement, and I promise to assist you. Give this ring to old Loretta at the base of the high wall. Do your part, and I'll do mine.
Alright, I'll do exactly not that because she's dead. Any more items in here? Nope. How much homeward bones do I have? Oh, I have plenty. I don't have to worry about using up all my bones. Although if I ever did, it's not like I need a whole lot of souls to even get them. I think they're about 500 each. Oh jeez, I smell like cleaning products. Someone's going ham.
Which is good, wasn't he?
I should start trying to use this more. Ethical straight sword, so I need more dex.
Pretty.
Is it an improvement? Oh, no. Right.
Oh, hello, you're back, and in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part. Whatever trinket you need, speak up. Just don't ask me where I got them. Heavens, she was already dead. Thank you. I'm not surprised, though. Almost a relief, really. You can keep the ring as, well, a little trinket of thanks,
It's not like he could do anything about it. I'm like twice his size. Okay. have a sphere, but I'm not quite sure if it's the exact same sphere as that. I think it is, because he is selling like Herald stuff. Bandit's knife is actually pretty decent for anyone who's a thief or an assassin. Some of the sorts.
Goodbye. And stay safe. Modestly.
Yeah, I care about what you're talking about. Is there any more decks to wield the Ithil straight
Welcome
sword?
home, speak. Very well. Then touch take not.
Can I even do that? Of course. Do 3 levels, so I'm gonna do 1 here. I'm gonna upgrade my intelligence to 10.
Farewell, Ashen One.
May the fucking flames guide thee. It's a whole 2 increase in power, but it's also a really good sword. What's up, yo?
Oh, our champion of Ash. Welcome home. This pilgrim, with a debt in death, hardly deserves to behold this divine flame. And I never would have, had you not taken me into your service. I thank you dearly for this, and assure you of my leal service.
Like, it makes sense, but I
Then shall we begin?
yeah, this is basically a free 1 level up, but there's a downside to it. I think honestly, endurance. And you're purchasing.
Be safe.
So you can level up with him 5 times, but you can't do it immediately. So the only way you can actually level up through him multiple, like all 5 times, you gotta kill yourself. You gotta kill yourself, or you just gotta die. I don't remember how many times it is for the this part of the quest to be over. I just know you have to die. And I think 1 kill will do it again.
Oh, I would
No.
be safe.
What if he said be safe and then he just saw me twist my ankle? And I'm like, oh, I can't go on anymore. You have to kill me. He's like, no, that's an easy medical thing to fix. No. Well, damn it. What am I supposed to do now? Yeet. What an interesting thing if you want to take more fall damage is equip armor that's really heavy, and try and exceed your vitality, because you will take more fall damage the more heavy you are. So let's test that. I have the great sword some fucking where right there. And I have Lothric helm, Cell sword, All Knight, and I'm wearing them. So now I do a fat roll. So now, oh shit. Well, that wasn't very much souls anyways, was it? I don't know. I'm gonna look back through the stream when I upload it to YouTube. I'm gonna be like, God damn it. Let's try it again. So if I'm right here. Oh, okay. It didn't want to take the extra damage. Never mind. might just grind a lot more before I actually. I might just grind a lot more before I actually binge stream, because, like I said, the Abyss Watchers are something else. And then I'll grind a little bit off stream. And next time we come back to Dark Souls, we will be taking down the Abyss Watchers. Alright. I think we exceed the amount of deaths we need for the next one.
I would. Then shall we be bearer?
Put Dex right here.
Be safe. Oh, I. Be.
Oh, I. They kick me in the nuts. You're like, oh! I do it. He's an asshole. I love that scream. Just. Oh! Such a primal scream. Alright. So those deaths actually count?
Oh, I. Then shall we be bearer?
Okie doke.
Be safe.
So we have 2 more level ups to go after that. I might just put them in endurance. Maxing out stamina as soon as possible is such a godsend to do in this game. Alright, let's check in. Let's see if the amount of deaths ticked up one more time. No, he's a little asshole. He's a little piece of shit. It's my goofy impression. Not very good, probably. I don't know why I keep picking that up. It's 0.
Oh, I. Then shall bearer.
Endurance again. Fuck off.
Be safe.
I kept it in the menus. Okay. That 2 to endurance actually like really helped. I was able to run like an extra 3 feet. Which on the field, that's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Interesting. Nah, just looking at some artwork. In fact, I'm not even gonna check the old yet. I'm gonna die one more time. Yeah! think after this, Yo will be like,
Oh, you have died again! Oh, Ashen One, you are an idiot.
lots of people say that.
Oh, I would. Then shall bearer.
And that's how you know that you can't do it anymore when it comes up again.
You have attained ample strength. All will soon be clear, my good lord. Be safe.
What's my face look like? Ugh. I actually do look like a dried up corpse. I kinda like it. It's funny looking. Let's see. So if we die one more time after that. Unfortunately, if you do this, that means every single playthrough, you're gonna have at least 10 so deaths. Go to Yo. Yo is dead, but there's a woman here.
Oh, prithee, art thou good Yoel's master? I am Uria of Londor, a close friend of his. Thanks to thee, Yoel's soul is redeemed. Allow me to express my gratitude in his stead. Another matter. Thou a lord art thou not, bearer of the dark sigil, and our Lord of Hollows. For the time thou remainst our lord, we of Londor shall serve thee, and I, of course, am also thine.
Thank you. So yeah, she'll sell like some stuff. Dark Hand. That's a good one. It's like a shield, but it also kind of acts as a weapon.
Till we meet again, may the dark...
May the dark sigil guide thee. I don't want you to. By the way, if you ever need
Welcome
this...
home, Ashen One. Speak thine heart. Farewell, may the flames...
Oh, wait.
Ah, how?
There's something you can buy. Not quite sure
Ashen One.
when, but you can get something on top of this shrine for her that you can remove the Dark Sigil entirely, or you can buy stuff from the Handmaiden, and that will get rid of the Dark Sigil stuff, but it won't ruin the quest, unlike removing the Dark Sigil entirely. So let's go here. Alright. We're gonna grind a little bit before I end the stream. It's been 2 hours of slightly uneventful stuff. Guys, wolf blade grass off him, or whatever it's called. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. Don't do it. Don't grind Covenant items off enemies. That's how I got like 3 or 4 Covenants filled out because I didn't have online. Don't do it. Wait till you have online. I swear it'll be a lot better. I can't get back attack on him because of the way he's angled. You're a miserable pile of idiots. Oh. Nice shot. Really? I'm not dead? That's like twice the stream when I thought I was dead. Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's one step closer to having the full set. I love it. If anything, I want his shield over anything else, because the shield has a really high fire resistance, and it also has 100% physical resistance. So, against the Abyss Watchers, it's like a godsend of a weapon. So we'll be kind of running this route a couple times. Guy said he had jelly, so he must die. I'm actually doing quite a decent amount of damage. That's good. Let's see, this is a equally strength and dex weapon, so it's not like raising one stat will increase it over the other. Why did he come after me? Alright. Since I can't get back attack on him, I'll do the next best thing, which is just stab him in the booty. Alright, come hither. Ooh, okay. Getting lucky with the armor drops. The armor drops are usually pretty rare. I still want a shield though. In fact, what do I have for shields in terms of flame defense? 89. 89. And that's 100% physical, right? Yeah. Has one less stability though, so not quite sure how good it is in the long run. Walk up to He knows. Damn it, he knows. Damn it, I know. Props if you get that reference. Also, I guess not really props because it's kind of a popular series. Ooh, rotten rude cuffed sword. Cuffed sword? No, curved sword. Like I said, like it was some sort of educational cartoon. Like I was speaking to an audience full of idiots, which is what educational cartoons tend to sound like. They sound like they're talking more to idiots than children. He's not a happy camper. Oh shit, actually. Take that. Oh, come on. Of course I fucking died that time. There was no way it was gonna happen for a third time. No way. I'm pissed. I'm never playing this game again. How much Titanite do I have? I have 18 pieces. Might as well see if I can upgrade this sword here. Ice is not an element. Only frostbite is. I think the elements are like lightning, dark, fire, magic. Oh man, I don't even think water's an element. Get back here. Like, it's a pretty decent grinding area. There we go. That's how you do it. I don't know how I survived that. Really, 2 pieces. One of them's a duplicate, but god damn, man, I'm on the path of being the Black Knight. Hell, I might just equip that. I don't know, that's a lot. I can still work with it. It literally increases everything except for blade resist. And it only drops that by 1. And fire resist. Still not my most popular for fire resist, but it's a good balance between physical and fire. I guess slashing fire is what I'm looking more for. Right, slash 4. Yeah. Well, it's the best slash resistance glove I have right now. Take it. Take it like a man. I wasn't saying a Hunger Games commercial. Drops a steel girder on your foot. Jesus Christ! Take it like a man. Eat like a man. Hunger Man. It's good to be full. That is a good That is a good name for that, though, Hungry Man, because it kind of rolls off the tongue. I guess Hungry Person couldn't run off the tongue quite so easily. But I am a very hungry person. What's the likeness like? The likeness isn't too much? Okay, but the helmet would definitely add too much. Yeah. Okay. I can add the leggings. It increases everything this time. Nice. So he's not even going to do that much damage to me anymore. Come at me. Good thing about that weapon is it does not make him fast. There we go. Take it. Man, nothing that time. I think I'll do about 3 more runs of this, and then I'll stop for the night. I was mainly doing this because it was a neat idea for someone else to join me in stream, and I thought it was fun. And I think having people in your stream, if you have a little bit of chemistry with them or not, I think it's fun. One of these days I might just get one of my really good friends in here, and we'll just kind of shoot the shit. Hey. He just like gasped as if like, how could he? As I stab him into the anus. What's a jump attack with this weapon like? I love his like panting. He's like what a sad, strange little man. And that's where Goofy comes, that's where Woody comes in. He's like, oh yeah, tough guy? Oh shit. Oh. 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 Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Jesus Christ, I can't get behind him right now. What the hell's going on? And Black Knight helm, so. Let's see, that was the first time after saying this would be 3 runs more. Jesus, get away from me. Ah! Yeah, he's got the red eyes too, which means that he's a lot more powerful. It's a good tell for how powerful enemies are in this game. If they have those red glowing eyes, that means that they're going to be a lot stronger. I wonder what determines that, like, in universe. Like, why do their eyes glow? I think I am frostbiting this guy. I think that's what that glass shatter sound effect is me frostbiting them. They are quite easy to frostbite them if that's the case. Oh, I have an itch in my nose. Second, and then there'll be a third. Also, I didn't know Crucifixion Man could just walk through that door. Oh god, it's freaky. I can kill him so easily, but it's still freaky. Alright, you fuck off. Maybe that's just what I need to do. Maybe I need to get my, maybe I just need to get friends in here. Yeah, I think that's frostbite. Ooh, okay. That's the Covenant item. That's why the sword's so good too. It's like it does good damage, it's pretty fast, and it can frostbite. So, really, it's just a good ass weapon.
I'm going to stab your ankle, even though it won't do anything because you're wearing metal.
Seriously, wouldn't do anything, it is. There we go. And for the last time, didn't drop anything. If I got the chest piece on this last death, that would have been amazing. I would be like, oh, okay, I'm just a Black Knight now. But who knows? Maybe while I'm grinding, because he is one of those guys I'll grind against, because he can drop embers, and you know, his shield I still want. His sword would be pretty nice to have. So maybe I can grinding against him and getting his stuff, the rest of his stuff afterwards. It will be a true Black Knight. But for now, that's where this is gonna end. This has been quite an eventful stream. We didn't finish off a boss. But we still got farther. We got a lot of items. We got quite a few places to go. We don't even have to go to the Abyss Watchers right now. We can go fucking elsewhere next. There's actually quite a few things we could do. So, I think this is where we'll end it. So next time on Dark Souls 3, we're gonna be potentially progressing past either the Abyss Watchers, or we're gonna go find another boss before then. See you guys sometime around then. Bye.